I've been having a lot of fun in the last 24 hours playing with the new DJI Action 2. It really is quite a genius little camera, and it has a lot of great features. I'm working on a full review, which will be coming soon. However, there are some pretty major flaws with this camera, which I thought was worthwhile bringing up early, because I'm aware many people are either waiting on their orders to be dispatched or are hovering over that buy button. If you're thinking of buying one of these, this video is definitely for you. There are some pretty major issues with the DJI Action 2, which actually leads me to make quite a bold statement. If you're in the UK or EU in particular, don't buy it yet. During the rest of this video, please keep in mind that this is not a cheap camera. This isn't some £50 off-brand action camera. It cost me £455 for this dual combo with the front screen. So it really should be setting standards, frankly, in the action camera, small camera marketplace. The biggest issue is overheating. This little camera gets very, very hot. Now, you would expect that because of the sheer size of it, wouldn't you? But it might interest you to know that at 4K 120 with just the camera module, you're getting about 3.5 minutes before the camera overheats. With the other module attached and recording to the SD card, again at 4K 120, I was actually getting around 3 minutes. Okay, 4K 120, that's obviously a fairly exceptional frame rate. However, bringing things down to a more reasonable standard of 4K 30, which you'd certainly expect a modern £455 action camera to be able to handle, then unfortunately, you're still only looking at around 5.5 minutes before the camera gives you the overheat warning and stops recording. Keeping in mind that this little camera fits very nicely on top of the DJI FPV drone. So you're not actually even able to record a full flight at 4K 30 before the overheat warning comes up and things stop again. One thing to keep in mind here is the geographical situation with this little camera. Who'd have thought there'd be any kind of geofencing with an action camera? But that's essentially what we've got here. There is a button on the menu which allows you to basically give the instruction, like we're used to with so many other larger cameras, mirrorless DSLR cameras, etc. We're able to basically tell the camera to keep operating at that high temperature. Unfortunately, due to regulations in the UK and the EU regarding surface temperature of units, that type of thing, DJI are unable to allow you to select that function on the camera, and so it is grayed out on the screen. Operating temperatures, even at the lower resolutions, are uncomfortably warm. It is hot to touch when this camera is running for anything more than a couple of minutes, and to me, that really isn't a good thing. I could live with that, especially if we were able to turn it onto the higher setting, keeping in mind that the Care Refresh does actually cover you for normal wear and tear on the Action 2. But the fact that we're not able to enact that high temperature mode here in the UK or EU means you are essentially geofenced into having much shorter record times on what is a very expensive action camera. There are other issues such as the transfer time it takes to transfer the data from this single device onto the SD card here, because again, obviously when you're recording in just this module, there is no SD card, you're recording onto the internal memory. You're able to then transfer it to the SD card in either the battery pack or the screen pack. But that does take an awful long time for those transfers to take place. All of this means, of course, that you are basically spending a lot of time out and about with this camera, waiting for it to cool down, having to plan your shots, only being able to get just a few minutes of footage recorded, which I've already had to do today whilst filming this review. And all of this really does lead me to say, especially for the UK and EU marketplaces, that not to purchase the DJI Action 2 until we get some of these issues resolved. The overheating thing isn't a small issue, especially when you factor in just how much it's clipping your wings in terms of being able to record with the device, whether that's the module by itself or combined with the second screen. This is very frustrating because I was a huge fan of the original DJI Osmo Action, and I respect DJI for pushing the envelope in terms of trying to bring something out that's a little bit more innovative, a bit more adaptable. And as I said, there are a lot of fantastic things about this little camera. However, I really would have appreciated DJI warning me as a UK purchaser that these limitations would be in place and effectively preventing me from taking full advantage of the recording capabilities at anything longer than 3.5 and 5.5 minutes. In 2021, you really do not buy a £450 action camera to only be able to record in 2.7 or 1080. So there we have it. That is a very quick update in terms of what is happening with the DJI Action 2 and why I think at the moment, especially if you're in the UK or EU with that limitation of not being able to turn on the high temperature mode, it really is something I would potentially avoid right now. This could improve in time, and we will keep you fully informed of any developments that happen in terms of being able to actually develop this product as time rolls on. But I thought this was an important video to make, especially as I have covered a lot of the leaks on this particular product. We also did a live unboxing yesterday, which you can find in the live stream highlight section on the channel homepage. I really didn't want to leave everybody with the overwhelmingly positive when I'm now finding some negatives, which actually, if I was a straight consumer and I wasn't buying this as part of the YouTube channel that I run, I possibly wouldn't have purchased, and I would seriously be considering returning this right now. Let me know in the comments below if you've experienced any of these similar issues and whether or not you are considering the DJI Action 2. And of course, if you're new here, like and subscribe. We've got lots more DJI content coming up, including, of course, the phenomenal, insanely eagerly awaited release of the DJI Mavic 3 just around the corner on November 5th. We've got some very special videos coming on that in the next few days. Sean out.